Okay, so oops, get my microphone down here. That's going to help. That'll help quite a bit. Um, so, in this section of chapter 5, we are going to be in pursuit of the same things that we were previously, which is we've got an equilibrium situation. We've got some object with multiple forces, possibly multiple moments acting on it. Our job is to figure out what's happening with the supports so that we can um, figure out, is it does the support provide a lateral force, a vertical force? Does the support have to provide a moment? So those are the things that we're going to be after. What's going to be different here is that we will be in 3 dimensions. Okay. Now, what that's going to mean is we're going to often end up with needing to solve like 3 simultaneous equations for 3 variables, that sort of thing. Okay. Worst case scenario would be solving for 6 variables with 6 equations. But I don't, where your book isn't going to do that to you, but that could happen in real life. Okay. Um, we're going to start out with a pretty easy one here, number 7. So we've got a plate, and the plate is being held up by 3 cords at A, B, and C. The plate itself weighs 500 pounds, and there's a 200-pound force acting on it. Okay, so we'll begin in the usual way, which is to say, we want to make sure we understand what are all the other forces that are acting on this thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and put kind of right in the middle. There's my weight G, okay, which is 500. And then I'm going to call this tension C, A, and B. Okay. Those are all vectors. So I'm going to put a line over those. Okay. Just like that. Okay. Now, so we have our usual suspects in terms of equations to work with. So I'm going to pull over here just a little bit. I'm going to have to use more paper on these things. So our first condition for equilibrium is to look at what's happening in the x direction. Okay. Now, none of our forces have any x components. Okay. So that relationship doesn't help us at all. Okay. Um, like last time, we had y. Okay. And again, none of our forces have any kind of a y component. And so that's not going to be a factor. Okay, that's not helpful at all. Okay, we've got x, y, and z. So we can sum the forces in the z direction here. Aha, now that looks like it could actually be helpful. Okay, so now we've got A, B, C, G, and the 200. Okay, so A, B, and C are all vertical. So I've got A plus B plus C. I said vertical. I meant they're all pointing upwards. Okay, they're attention. They're pulling on that thing. And then I've got my 200 down. And then we've got the weight down, and the weight is 500. It's equal to 0. Okay, and so we can move the 200 and the 500 to the other side of the equation. All right. And I'm going to simplify this thing and end up getting A plus B plus C is equal to 700. Okay. All right, now 1, 2, 3. I got 3 unknowns. So that means I'm going to need at least 2 other completely different relationships in order to solve for my variables A, B, and C. Okay. So what we did last time in the previous section was we looked at the forces in the X direction, forces in the Y direction, and then we went straight to moments. Okay. Now, when we did that, all of those moments actually happened to be in the Z direction. So what we were really doing with our moment relationship was dealing with this relationship here. Sum of mz is equal to 0. Okay. Oh, hey, by the way, I did look into doing that, but you have to have a PayPal account. And I have a PayPal account. It's just that it has a grand total of $0 and cents. So I have to put some money into my PayPal account, and then I can pay for my subscription, and then then I'll be cool with the app people. In the meantime, I continue to be a moocher, but I hope to change that in the near future. But yeah, we'll see. Okay, things happen slowly around here sometimes. Okay, so what we did previously, like I was saying, we looked at the moments, and what we were really doing is looking at the moments in the Z direction. Okay. And then we would pick, well, do we want to look at the moments around point this or point F or point B or point A? Okay. So we had to work all that out. Now, in our particular case, all of the forces are vertical. And so none of them are going to contribute to a Z. Okay. So, like this, if I've got my Z axis straight up, okay, you want to curl your hand. It's my right hand. And I know in my camera, I'm looking at my camera here, everything's backwards. So I'm going to do my left hand so that it looks correct to you. Okay. I think that's right. All right. I'll probably end up going back and forth. I apologize. Okay. But so let me stick with my right hand so I don't confuse myself. All right. So a positive moment is when it wants to wrap this way. Okay. In the direction of your fingers. Okay. So what we're going to do is in this particular case, like I was saying, none of the forces have an X or a Y component. So none of the forces is going to try to create a wrap like this. None of them is going to make a moment going around the Z axis. Okay. However, they could around the X or the Y. Okay. So what we'll do, the easiest thing to do here is just to think about the moment in the around X and Y. So let me grab another color here. So what we're going to do then is we're going to look at our moment. These are moments that are parallel to the x-axis, okay? So the x-axis is coming out towards you. So take your hand, put your thumb in that direction, wrap it like this, okay? Wrap it like that. And we want all of those moments to add up to 0, okay? And so let's start with B, okay? Oh, and we got to actually pick a location, just like before. All right. We said we got to add the moments up, but are they going to be the moments around this position or this position or this position? We got to do the same thing. And the easiest, flat out easiest thing to do 9 times out of 10 is going to be just choose the axis of interest. Okay. So to get our moment arms, we're going to think about the distance from the X axis to the line of action for each force. Okay. So let's start with B. All right. B's on the axis. So B doesn't produce any moment in the X direction. Okay. That's not going to happen at all. Let's scoot over to C. Okay. Now C is out there at a distance of 3. So we can write down 3C. but is it going to be positive or negative? Okay, so put your thumb in the direction of X. Okay, C. Okay, we're going to get our moment arm out there to C, and it curls up like this. Okay, now I'm doing it as it looks natural to me. Okay, to try and make it where it looks right to you, I'm going to be here. My thumb is in the X. I go out to my moment arm, and then I'm going to curl it like so. Okay, boop, just like that. Okay, now, since that curling of C is in the same direction as my fingers, that's positive. Okay, so that means that is a positive moment. Okay, let's go to the 200. All right, now the 200, if we go X and I go over the 3 to the 200, so let me go ahead and put that in here. It's a distance of 3 out to the 200. Okay, that's not going to work. I can't bend my fingers that way. Okay, if I could bend my fingers that way, all right, then we could see it's going to go this way around that thing. And so that one is negative. Okay. Um, G is out there at a distance of 1.5. And it's also going to be negative. And then finally, we've got A. A is out there at a distance of 3. So we got 3 onto A, and it also is positive. Okay, just like that. Okay, so you're going to have to check it every single time for every single force. Now, eventually, you'll get the kind of a hang of it. It's going to go a lot faster. Okay, truth be told, as long as you are consistent, it's fine because the whole equation is equal to 0, right? So we could, in fact, come through here. We could have called that negative, this one positive, this one positive, and this one negative. Um, and it wouldn't have mattered, right? Because the whole thing is equal to 0. So it's like multiplying times a -1. So it comes out in the wash. Okay. So truth be told, as long as you're consistent, it doesn't really matter. Okay. But you're more likely to be consistent if you are careful and make sure you check every single force. Take your time. These are going to take a little bit of time. So let me get rid of that right there. Okay. Now, so I've got that simplified. Here we go. And once you simplify that equation, what you end up getting is you end up getting C plus A is equal to 450. Okay, so now I've got 2. All right, so let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, and so you can see here we've got one equation there, and I got another equation there. So I'm on the right track, but I'm not there yet. I'm going to have one more relationship. And probably a lot of you have already gotten to where we're going to go, which is we are going to need my. Okay, I'm going to choose another color here. Woo! Okay, just like that. Now, what we've got to do is we are going to have to follow the same rules in the sense that we're going to have to very carefully figure out moment arms. We're going to use the y-axis as the position from which we measure all of our moment arms. Okay, so let's start with B. B's out there at a distance of 4. So I'm going to have 4B. All right. And I put my thumb in the Y direction. I got to get out there to B. Okay. And okay. So I got to curl in an unnatural direction, which tells me that the B is going to be a negative, create a negative moment, just like this. Okay. So now I can make a shortcut and I can be like, as long as I'm on this side, and it's up, it's going to be negative. So down is going to be positive. So I got C on there. C is going to be negative 4C. And then I've got my 200. It's out of there at a distance of 2. Okay. It's on the same side, but it's in the opposite direction. So we'll call that positive. Okay. Again, go through it with your hand. Convince yourself. All right. This is a skill that you need to have. And when I say this is a skill you need to have, I don't just mean, oh, yeah, okay, I can do that. I mean, like breathing, like, okay, you're all skilled at breathing. You don't have to think about it. You just do it. Same thing here. You just want to be able to go, okay, I got it. Then we got our 500. And the weight of the thing, it's also at a distance of 2, and it will also be positive. Okay. Now, when I simplify that equation, what I'm going to get is C plus B is equal to 350. Aha. Now, let's step back. Let's get a little distance here, literally. And all right, ABC, good deal. CB, CA. Okay, I've got 3 equations for my 3 unknowns. So now I'm ready to solve this thing. Okay. Okay, so this is not an 8th grade algebra class. This is not Math 1710 or 1720 where you have to prove your algebraic competency. You should be able to solve those by hand. But nobody does that. Okay, nobody does that. All right. So learn how to do that on your calculator. Learn how to do it on Wolfram Alpha. I showed you how to do that one day. Learn how to do it on Calculator Infinity. All right, if you're using that. But figure out some way where you can put in 3 variables and 3 equations and press a button and the answer comes out. Okay. So once you do that, what you're going to end up getting is we're going to end up here with, oops. Sometimes I get I forget I'm on my highlighter setting. A is 350. B is 250. And C is 100. Okay. So those are the answers. Okay. So let me zoom out just a little bit. We can see the whole thing. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now good deal. You want to hear a funny story? I'm looking at my picture. I don't know if you can tell. My picture is better than it usually is. I have this kind of bright. I have this window here, and I've got a window back over there. And I used to get this glow, and I was like, "What the heck is going on? Why do I glow?" I mean, I get it. I glow, but why does my picture glow? And so I was like, I wonder. And so I took a little lens cloth and I went whoop 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 whoop. And my glow went away. So I don't know. There was a film or something across the camera lens there. So my image no longer glows, but I like to think that I still have a glowing personality. Okay. All right. Enough of the funny stories. So the point is here, I've got 6 relationships at my disposal. I got sum of X's, sum of Y's, sum of Z forces. Okay. And then I do the same thing with moments in X, moments in Y, moments in Z. Each problem is going to be a little bit different. Okay. And I'm just going to have to work with each of those relationships. What's happening with my forces? What's happening with my moments? Okay. Just like that. You guys all have enough experience that you can probably guess when you have this many variables that you're going to have to take your time, be patient, okay? Keep your workspace neat, okay? Remember, messy problem, messy mind. So try to keep everything orderly for yourself so you can know what the heck you're doing. Okay. All right. That's going to help you a lot. Okay. That's all for this one.